It's often not what is said, but what is not said that is most telling. Every time an EV zealot bleats that car buyers just need more subsidies, more incentives, more government handouts, more freebies essentially, to be persuaded to buy an electric vehicle, the unspoken conclusion we can draw from this is simple. EVs are just not competitive on a level playing field, and so it has to be tilted in their favour. Compared to regular combustion cars, EVs are expensive to buy, depreciate like crazy, take ages to charge, have poor range, are more expensive to insure, and they might burn your house down. No wonder they need freebies so badly. And similarly, no sane petrolhead would ever look at an EV performance car because they lack exactly the things that make driving such cars so enjoyable. The engine, the drivetrain, the sounds, the smells, the whole visceral experience. And by adding cheesy sound effects and trying to fake the experience of driving a proper V8, this is precisely what Mercedes-Benz has tacitly admitted. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney-based YouTuber. If you'd like to support this channel and display your anti-EV credentials to your Tesla-owning neighbours at the same time, why not buy some awesome MGUY merchandise, like this mug, this baseball cap, or this t-shirt. Each high-quality item sports the MGUY No EVs sign, and they're all made to order, perfect for irritating the hell out of your local EV zealots. Visit store.mguy.tv or click the link in the description to check out the full range of products. And of course, you can always just buy me a coffee. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Like most other Western auto manufacturers at the moment, Mercedes-Benz is sitting on the very sharp and very painful horns of an existential dilemma. On the one hand, they have governments in Europe mandating a switch to fully electric by some arbitrary date in a decade's time, and banning the sale of combustion engines at the same time, but on the other, they have a customer base that is crying out for proper combustion cars and muscular AMG models with V8 engines. So what are they to do? We'll come on to the fake AMG story in a minute, but first, Mercedes-Benz's chief executive, Ola Källenius, has written in The Economist about the problems caused by Europe's mad headlong dash to net zero and the effect it is having on the auto industry. Here are a few extracts, but the full article, unpaywalled, is linked in the description. Europe must change if it wants to be green and competitive, says the CEO of Mercedes, Ola Källenius, on how to fix the problems under the continent's bonnet. The European Green Deal was supposed to become Europe's man-on-the-moon moment. It aims for a climate-neutral continent by 2050 to reconcile the challenge of maintaining a competitive economy with the needs of our planet. Now we must avoid getting lost in space. The European automotive industry has made a Herculean effort to make the Green Deal a success and remains fully committed to the shift towards zero-emission transport and mobility. Together, we have launched hundreds of new electric vehicle models and invested more than €250 billion towards the green transition by 2030. But many consumers remain cautious. Currently, battery electric cars have a market share of roughly 15% in the EU, significantly less than most forecasts predicted only a few years ago. The EU's short-term fix, averaging CO2 targets between 2025 and 2027, offers some breathing space. But the economic environment has deteriorated significantly, and unless the conditions improve, that trajectory won't change. And he must have been watching some MGUY videos, because he then says something I've been predicting for a while. Instead, there is the risk that the de facto ban on combustion engines could lead to the Havana effect. Consumers who are not yet ready for e-mobility could be forced to hold on to older, dirtier vehicles for longer, just like Cuban drivers who have long lacked access to new vehicles. Today, cars in the EU are on average more than 12 years old, and the number will continue to rise with the current regulations in place. This will have negative consequences for the climate, employment, prosperity, and the entire automotive ecosystem. compounding problems for an industry that is already struggling. Over 40% of European suppliers of automotive components and technology could be unprofitable in 2025. That's why we want to work with policymakers to find solutions. And he points out the blindingly obvious that most EV zealots seem to overlook, and advises other courses of action alongside the one-size-fits-all plan of electrification. The EU's decarbonisation strategy fails to adequately address the reality of the existing European car fleet. Only around 2% of it is made up of new battery electric vehicles, whereas over 250 million internal combustion engine vehicles remain on the roads. Further incentives to speed up fleet renewal would be helpful. The same holds true for the targeted use of decarbonised fuels. And we need to bring other mobility and transport players, such as the mineral oil industry, on board. These points must be discussed in the upcoming strategy dialogue between the European Commission and our industry. Europe's car makers are ready to engage constructively. So the boss knows the score, but at the same time, Mercedes has to pander to the EV madness by producing AMG models with electric motors that make sounds and gear change sensations like a V8, tacitly admitting that EVs just don't engage the driver like a proper combustion car. And bear in mind, this article is from Inside EVs, so it's hilariously biased. Mercedes-AMG's new EV acts like it has a V8. It's way better than I imagined. AMG really went all out to simulate not only the sound but also the feel of a V8 in its upcoming EV, and the result is great. When Mercedes invited us a few weeks ago for a shotgun ride in a prototype of its upcoming all-electric model from AMG, I was more excited than I've ever been for a passenger ride. The prototype is the production version of the AMG GT-XX concept, the one with the Bluetooth wheels, designed to rival the Porsche Taycan with up to 3 axial flux motors that should give it over 1,000 horsepower. But my passenger ride wasn't about how quick the C590 prototype is in a straight line. It was all about experiencing its simulated V8 engine experience, which pleasantly surprised me. What type of sound EVs make when accelerating, or even if they should make any sound at all, is a polarizing topic, but these sounds have been getting better and better as of late. The engine sound that AMG is trying to simulate is very clearly a naturally aspirated V8 from the time when a 63 AMG car actually had a 6.3 litre engine. It was 6.2 litres actually. It honestly sounds great, and I prefer it to Hyundai's intentionally artificial sounding engine in its Ioniq 6N and 5N. Just like in those other cars with pretend engines, you don't have to have the fake engine sound, which you can easily turn off. We've seen how much slower having it on makes an EV, so when you want to extract all the performance that the car has to offer, it will likely need to be turned off in the AMG too. Oh my god, it's such nonsense. Let's take a watch and listen, and just remember, this is all fake.
It's very convincing.
Yes.
You feel the vibration of the engine, and when you downshifted, you also felt it in your back, like the vibration from from the burbles of the exhaust.
Yes.
No, it's completely believable. And there's definitely emotion there for sure.
No, there isn't. Burbles from the exhaust. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. The only reason that Mercedes-AMG have to build this kind of nonsense is because of net zero. Nothing else. There is no possible way on earth they would bother tarting up a milk float with speakers and fake gear changes otherwise. The only thing EVs do well is straight line 0 to 100. But that gets old mighty quick when you see your range plummet by 20%. And the additional weight means that no amount of fakery will let it handle like a lightweight sports car anymore. But let's have a good laugh at this desperate attempt to make a battery and a motor as engaging as a proper V8 AMG with a dual clutch transmission. Because what it doesn't say is this: without fake sounds and gear changes, EVs are bland and boring as hell. Thanks very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any tips or stories, go there. If you'd like to watch another video, go there. If If you'd like to buy me a coffee, go there, and please subscribe to the channel.